I can post it later. So before we get into the content of the actual call today, I just want to go over some announcements for November. I know everyone probably gets like that monthly email from Beachbody that's like your coach news for the month or whatever. But one thing that they're doing in November is the $20 off of all challenge packs and completion packs. So that is huge. So instead of the $160 that the like basic all access challenge pack with Shakeology, it's going to be $140 this month. So if you have anyone that you've been talking to that the financial investment was something that was holding them back and that they just couldn't afford it right now, then make sure you reach back out to them and tell them about the sale this month, because they don't put them on sale $20 off that often. So really try to take advantage of it when they do it. The next thing is the Shift Shop test group, which I actually just got into today. But Emily has been telling me about it. She's been in it since the very beginning. And the stuff that she has told me that Chris has posted in there, I think he goes live in there every single day, possibly even multiple times a day. And just from doing the workouts, y'all know how encouraging and motivating he is. And just wait until you work out with him in person, because he's incredible. Like, I worked out with him twice when we were in Mexico, and he literally had me in tears both times. And I'm not a crier. Like, you know me, I do not cry unless it's about something really stupid. But he is probably the most motivating and inspiring trainer that we have in all of Beachbody. So if you're not in that test group, do whatever you have to do to get one person signed up with a Shift Shop challenge pack between now and the cutoff is the 7th, which is Wednesday. So between now and Wednesday, if you sell a Shift Shop challenge pack or completion pack, that is what gets you into the test group. So I actually had 2 girls sign up, Courtney and Tara, that I posted about like welcoming them to the team. They both signed up with Shift Shop challenge packs. So I got my invite to join the test group yesterday, and I submitted everything, and they added me this morning. So, but the deadline to qualify to get into the test group is Wednesday. So start talking to people about that and keep sharing your workout videos and everything from Shift Shop and talking about how much you love it. The second thing for November is it's called Step It Up in November. Bless you, Katie. Since Transform 20 is launching December 4th, they're doing a promotion to where if you get 1 Success Club point in November, then you are guaranteed to be able to purchase a step for Transform 20 in December. Because part of that group or that workout with Transform 20, you have to have a step. And there is a Beachbody one that they're going to have in sale, but there are obviously only going to be so many of them. And you know, everyone is going to want to do this program, especially since it's only 20 minutes. So they're going to sell out probably really fast. But if you get 1 Success Club point in November, then you're guaranteed to be able to purchase a step. And then just Success Club in general, y'all know they changed the kind of the format of the Success Club prizes. So instead of having a reward prize every single month, they were doing the thing where it was like the last 6 months of the year based on how you did in Success Club. So I can't remember, has anybody like hit Success Club already a month from like July until now? I feel like some people have been super close, but I didn't know if anyone had achieved it. Okay. So if you hit Success Club in November or in December, then you can get one of these Beachbody Coach baseball caps. That's what they'll send you. Because kind of how they did the new prizes was if you hit Success Club 1 month between July and December, you get the cap. If you hit it 3 months out of the last 6 months, then you would get the cap plus a Beachbody Coach tank top. And then if you hit it all 6 months, then you got the cap, the tank top, and like a duffel bag or something. So it's not too late to get your own coach hat that you can wear. And honestly, like, I don't wear this that much, and I don't know why I don't, because literally almost every time I wear something that has like Beachbody or Shakeology or something on it, someone asks me about it. And they're like, hey, do you do that? And it's like, gives you the perfect opportunity to talk to somebody about everything in person. So I think that was all the announcements that I had. I'm trying to think. Don't forget that we have, so the National Wake Up Calls every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern. I don't know why Siri is acting like I'm talking to her. But so if you can't get on live, like, I can never ever listen to the National Wake Up Call live, but I always go back and listen to the replay of it. And you can just go to the Team Beachbody Coach 411 Facebook page and find the video and watch it there, or there's a playback number, and they also post it on the Team Beachbody podcast. But the content that they have shared in the National Wake Up Call in the last couple months, every single week, I take something really awesome away from it. And I'm going to try my best to start sharing a little bit more about just like the little pieces of things that I take away from the National Wake Up Call and implement in my business. I'm going to start sharing about it a little bit more frequently. So don't forget about those, and don't forget about the DFG team calls that are Monday nights at 8. I usually don't get on those live either, just because Mondays are my days to try to like really get ahead on stuff for the week, but I always go back and listen to the replays, and those have been really good too. So if you're missing those, I share the link if you want to get on live. I post it in Radiant Empire, and then I also try to go back and get the link to the recording and post that in the comments of that original post that I make. So and they're all in there if you want to go back and catch up. They've all been really good. Okay, I think that was everything. And now, as far as announcements go. So the topic that I chose today is be your own boss and having a CEO mindset. I think this is something that is the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur. And I looked up the definition of entrepreneurship, and the one that I found that I liked the best was just the act of starting a new business. And it's kind of weird to think about when we sign up as coaches and we get started. Like, we don't really think of it as I'm starting a business, but you are. Like, the moment that you decide that you're going to become a coach and you sign up and that you're going to work the business, you just became a business owner. And that is something that is really hard for us to get into mentally. And so that's why I wanted to talk about it today, because we enjoy what we do so much, and just like the journey that we're on personally, and then helping other people live their best life and get them started on their health and fitness journey is just something that, when you're so passionate about it and you love it so much and it's changed your life in that kind of way, it's kind of almost hard to think about it as a business and like something that you have to show up for every day. So the first thing I wanted to talk about with entrepreneurship in general just is the difference between if you were to go out and start a business, like a normal, like brick and mortar, like if you wanted to open up a clothing boutique or something, versus coaching, is the amount of money investment that people have to make to open and start their own business. Like, if you want to open a clothing store, you have to put so much money in that up front with no guarantee that you're going to get anything out of it at all. There's the money investment. You have to find employees. You have to go out and buy all the clothes and get all of the like legal things situated that you have to do, your licenses, all of that kind of stuff. And that is really hard. Like, I love being an entrepreneur, but I don't think I could do it if I had to go do all of that stuff. Like, I just would not even know where to start. But when we sign up as coaches, we don't have to do any of that. Like, all we had to do was buy our challenge pack, which that, when in the grand scheme of things, that $160 investment or however much it was when you signed up, like, that is nothing when you think about how much it costs other people to start their own business. And we really don't have any risk at all with coaching. Like, literally, what is the worst thing that can happen if you sign up as a coach and you fail? Okay, you got healthy and you changed your life. Like, literally, you have nothing to lose when you sign up for this business. So Beachbody literally does all of the hard work for us. They do all of the research. They do all of the testing. They design everything. They have the products. They have the super trainers. They design the workouts. They design and come up with the nutritionals, the performance line, Shakeology, all of these things that are just like given to us just because we're coaches. And the trainings that they do for us, like I don't know if y'all have explored your back office very much, but there is a tab just for trainings. And there is so much good stuff in there. There's trainings for if you're a brand new coach, what to do in your first 30 days. There are like trainings for seasoned coaches, anything you can think of. If you want to learn about the compensation plan, if you want to learn about rank advancing or just inviting or running challenge groups, there are trainings back there for everything. And there's the Beachbody Coach 411 Facebook page. They go live and do trainings in there all the time. There's the Beachbody Champions page. There is literally everything is at our fingertips. All we have to do if we need to know something or want to learn something is go to Google and we can figure it out. Like, I know everyone on here really likes Rachel Hollis, and that's what she says. Like, she says she built her multi-million-dollar company with a Google search bar. Like, anything that you want to know or want to learn is out there for free on the internet. We just have to go do it. So we're all sitting on this incredible opportunity, but are we taking advantage of it? Like, are we letting it process in our brains exactly what kind of opportunity that we've been given as coaches? And basically the ease that Beachbody gives us. They do all the hard work for us. They give us our own website. Literally, we don't have to do anything hard except for share our journey and invite people to do it with us. That's literally the hardest thing that we have to do as coaches. And you know, sometimes I think that like that literal aspect of it is kind of what makes it not feel like it could be a real business, because it's like literally that is the hardest thing, is sharing your story and inviting people. Like, I can't think of any other part of our jobs that's harder than that. And that is when you think about that hard versus if I wanted to start my own business from scratch and how hard that would be, like, it doesn't even compare. And it doesn't even seem like it could be real, that this could be a legitimate business, but it is. Like, look at how many people are in the Million Club and have made $1 million with Beachbody, or make $1 million a year with Beachbody, or $40,000 a month, however much that like multiplies out to be. There are literally people who make $20,000 or $30,000 a week. Like, it's crazy. Okay, but another thing to compare it to is your normal job, like your 8 to 5 job that you show up for every day. When you're an entrepreneur, you don't have a boss. You don't have a manager who's coming in and making sure that you're doing your job, or telling you what to do, or making sure that you're actually working your business. There's no one doing that for you when you're an entrepreneur. And that makes the hardest thing about entrepreneurship is discipline and making yourself show up, because no one's going to do it for you and no one's going to make you do it. Like, I'm your coach, so I might check in on you and I might say, hey, how's it going? But I can't make you do it. Like, the only person who can do it and build this business for you is you. Okay, I have lots of notes, so sorry I keep looking down in my notebook. So it's 100% up to you, whether you succeed in this business or you fail in this business. It's 100% up to you and your efforts and the discipline that you have, and whether or not you show up every single day. Because if you don't show up for yourself, who is? Like, nobody. So, how do we get into the CEO mindset? How do we do that? I have 4 points that I want to go through. Before I go into them, does anybody have any questions or anything they want to say about that? I feel like I was ranting a little bit, but okay. So, number 1 thing to do is acknowledge and say to yourself, I am a business owner. Like, write it down, say it until you believe it, until it sinks in. I am a business owner. Like, this is not just some willy-nilly hobby unless you want it to be. If you just want it to be a hobby and just pay for your shakes every month and just focus on your own journey, then that's totally fine too. We need all types of coaches in this business. We need discount coaches, we need hobby coaches, and we need business builders. Everyone is equally as important. But if you want to build this business and walk away from your full-time job, or give your family the financial freedom and the time freedom and flexibility that this business can give, then you have to treat this like a business. So if that's what you want it to be, then you have to think about it like that, and you have to start treating it like one. So a couple questions that I like to ask myself at the end of a day is, based on today's efforts, did I show up like a coach I would want on my team? So if I had a coach if you have a coach on your team, if they showed up the way that you did today, would you be proud of them? Would you know that they were doing whatever it took to move their business forward or not? If this was my normal 8 to 5 job, would my manager be happy with me right now? Or would I get fired based on today's efforts? Did I show up or did I not show up? So that's a huge one. Like, I started asking myself that question at the end of the day, like looking at my list of things to do. And like, I hated that feeling of going to bed and knowing that I didn't show up for my business like I should have. Or I didn't show up for my team, for you guys like I should have, or my challengers. Like, I hate that feeling of feeling like I'm letting somebody down, even if it's just myself. Like, I don't like to let myself down either. So when I started getting serious, and those are hard questions to ask yourself, like, because the answer is not always going to be what you want it to be, because you're not going to show up every single day as the best coach and best person that you can be, because we're human. But more times than not, I want to go to bed and know that I showed up for my business and for myself the way that I want it to, and the way that I want my team to. So number 2 is define your why. So think back to when you first signed up as a coach. Why did you do it? Like, what was your reason? Why did you think it was worth it to spend $160 on yourself? Why were you interested in the business side of things? Like, not only just to get yourself healthy and to feel better and be more confident and have more energy. Like, aside from the personal benefits, why were you interested in learning more about the business? What drew you in? Was it for financial freedom? Is that what you want? Was it for your family, to give them what they deserve? What you didn't have when you were growing up that you want to be able to give your kids? Are your kids your why? Is it just to have some extra spending money for Christmas, to buy Christmas gifts? Is it to end the cycle of debt and struggling and living paycheck to paycheck in your family? Was it just to help people? Like, is that your, like, bottom line? You don't care about the money. You don't care about any other part of it. You just want to help people. Whatever it is, write it down and feel it. Like, honestly, write it down and read it and think about it every single day. Post it on your bathroom mirror. That way, as soon as you get up in the morning, you see it. Every time you go to the bathroom, you see it. Every time you brush your teeth before you go to bed, you see it. Or post it on your computer. Like, put it on a sticky note and stick it on the edge of your computer screen. That way, every time you sit down to work, you see your why. And maybe if it's your kids, like, print out a picture of them and post a picture of them beside your workspace so you can see them and focus on that every time you sit down to work. Your why has to be strong, and there has to be an emotional connection to it. It can't just be like something you came up with off the top of your head just because, but it really doesn't mean that much to you. If that is your why, then it's not going to keep you going and motivate you when things get hard or when you just don't feel like it. Your why has to make you want to show up even when you don't want to. Even when you don't feel like it, when you're tired, when you've had a bad day, when you just want to sit on the couch and watch Netflix or take a nap. Like, your why has to be something that's going to drive you every day to keep going no matter what. Even if you're not seeing the success that you want to see as soon as you want to see it. Your why has to be able to drive you to keep going through the hard and to keep building up your momentum until you get to where it's good. And that's like, that can be hard to define, but I want everyone here to sit down sometime this weekend and just spend 10 or 15 minutes in thinking about your why. Like, go somewhere quiet, turn on maybe some like Christian music, whatever you like to listen to, some coffee house music that's just kind of calm and not distracting, and just sit down and think about, why did I start this? Why am I still here? Like, because obviously y'all have a big enough why, or you wouldn't be on this call right now. Like, you'd still be asleep or doing something else, but you're here. So there's a reason. And just get in touch with yourself and what you really want, and write it down and be specific, and think about your future and what you want it to be and what is your vision. Like, when you sit down and think about, okay, where do I want to be in 5 years or in 10 years or even just 1 year from now? Where do I want to be, and what does my life look like? What do I want my life to look like? And like, literally close your eyes and see it, and like, give it meaning and give it I don't know what word I'm looking for. Like, make it come to life, make it real, like, feel it and know that, like, okay, this is what I want, and be able to sit down and think about it and see it and visualize it. That is huge. I've literally been writing down things every day that basically, like, kind of like goals, but like, I write down every single day. I hit Success Club 20 every single month with a minimum of 4 points per week. So that's 2 people. My goal is to help 2 new people every single week. Do I hit that every single week? No. But I did this week. And I did the beginning of October when I started writing that out in like September. And the first week of October, I did it. Like, I don't know. I couldn't tell you the last time I got 4 Success Club points in 1 week. Like, it sounds crazy to me to think that I'm going to do that, but I write it down every single day. And now, because I'm focusing on it, it has started happening. And I'm just going to keep writing it down and I'm going to keep writing down my bigger goals too until they start happening. Okay, I'm going to stop ranting about that. My third tip for tapping into your CEO mindset is having work or business hours and a workspace in your house. So look at your life, your schedule, your other demands, the other things that are pulling you in all different directions. Are you able to have a power hour, or do you need to have power pockets? Like, do you have an hour a day where you can sit down and block out everything else and focus for 1 full hour? Or if that's not possible, what power pockets can you find throughout the day? 15 or 20 minutes here, another 10 minutes there. like, think about that and figure out what's realistic and what you can actually plan to do and stick to it. Work from a list or a tracker. So every single day I write down a list of things that I want to do. And that includes my workout, if I need to empty the dishwasher, if I need to do a load of laundry, if I want to vacuum the floor or wash my hair. Literally, sometimes I put wash your hair on the list because if I don't, it won't get done. So write down every single thing that you want to get done and figure out what kind of way, what kind of system and schedule you want to have for your business, so you'll actually know what you're supposed to do and be able to do it. Because if we don't decide, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I need to do to be successful in my business, if we don't know what that is, then we're never going to sit down and focus and work on our business because we don't know what to do. It's like, if you don't know what to do, then you're just not going to do anything, right? So work from a list. What do you need to do? Work from a tracker. I have still been using the system that Katie talked about with us like a month or two ago about the training she watched in the Champions page, where it was like, on Mondays, I add to my network. On Tuesdays, I do conversation starters and try to build connections with people. On Wednesdays, I invite and follow up. And then on Thursday and Friday, I kind of do a little bit of everything and just kind of keep things moving, because if I do a bunch of inviting and following up on Wednesday, then Thursday and Friday, I should have a lot of conversations going back and forth with people. I have started making it a goal for myself to invite at least 50 people a week. And I know that can seem like huge, but if you print out that tracker that I made for us, the little, y'all know what I'm talking about, or do you want me to go get it? The little sheet that's got all the people on there. Print it out. Like, I don't know what it is, but if you write down a list on a piece of notebook paper, a list of 50 people, and you look at it, it's like, whoa, that's a lot of people. It looks daunting and overwhelming. But if you print out that little sheet that's got the leaves or the little people on it, and you write down 50 people's names on that, it doesn't seem as like daunting of a task. It doesn't seem like so many people and like something that you can't do. It makes it more fun. I don't know why. Me and Emily were talking about it because, Katie, I just got you earned an award for your 7 workout week. That's good. Okay. We were talking about it when we went to leadership about how Lindsay Stay made that first one for us to invite to the coach sneak peek. And y'all just listen to this. I almost did not invite a single person to join that sneak peek, because I had invited people to things like that in the past, and nothing had ever come of it. Like, I would add them to the group, and then I would never hear from them again. But because of Emily's encouragement and motivation, I did it. The night before it was going to happen, I sat down and I invited 50 people. And I ended up adding like 15 people to that group. And I have already signed up 2 coaches from that group. And I'm probably getting ready to sign up a 3rd girl from that group. And it just blows my mind because I almost didn't even invite those people. And that, like Lindsay, Tara, the other girl who signed up, and then I have another friend who I talked to on the phone on Friday, and she wants to do it. She's ready. She was just going to talk to her husband first and make sure it was okay with him. But I'm going to check back in with her today and see if she was able to talk to him. But like 3 new coaches from one sneak peek group that I really didn't even have to do anything for. They did all the hard work. Lindsay and Dara and the other girls and Shay, they all went live in there. I didn't have to do a single thing. Like, take advantage of things like that our upline is doing, and like follow through with it. Because I think that was the thing that I had struggled with in the past with sneak peeks, is I would invite people to them and add them to the group, but then I wouldn't follow through. Like, I would just kind of forget about it, and I wouldn't follow up with them or check back with them to see if they had questions or if they were interested. And that's not to say, like, a lot of the people who I added to the group, I followed up and they didn't get back to me. and that's fine. Or I followed up and they just weren't really interested. It wasn't for them right now, and that's fine. But they still joined the group and got some good information, and maybe one day they will be ready and be interested. So I'm gonna get off that soapbox again. So find a way that works for you. So whether I posted the business activity tracker a few days ago, which is from corporate at Beachbody, they created it. And literally the top coaches in the network still use that business activity tracker every day. Like, they may have revamped it to make it more them, or more like make it cuter or whatever for their teams. But those behaviors that are on it, they're still doing them every day. And so if they're doing it, then we need to be doing it, right? So figure out what works for you, either the focusing on one activity a day, or if you want to do smaller amounts of everything every day, whatever works best for you and your brain and the way that you process things. And if you need help figuring that out, then let me know, and we'll talk through your life, your schedule, and see what would be best. And so the second thing is finding a workspace in your home. And that is huge for me. Like, I used to always just sit on my couch and work. No, I was not really working. Like, I was scrolling on Instagram and watching stories, or scrolling on Facebook, or watching TV. I would get caught watching TV. Like, I have to be intentional about when I work my business, and when I am is when I'm successful and when things start to happen and my team starts to grow and I add new challengers. That is when I'm being intentional about sitting down at my kitchen. For now, it's my kitchen table, but this weekend I'm putting my desk together and getting that in there, so I'm going to have an office. But find a space in your home, whether it's your kitchen table, if you have an office, if it's at your bar, wherever it is, find somewhere where you can sit down and focus. Set a timer for yourself. If you sit down at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday night, give yourself 1 hour to get done, however much you want to get done. Set a timer on your phone. It's super easy. Just go to the clock and start it. Put your notifications and stuff on airplane mode, or on what's it called when you put it to sleep or whatever. I can't think of what it's called. Whatever, the little moon, to where you're not going to get notifications. And like, be intentional for an hour. It's an hour. Like, all of us used to spend an hour just working out every day with 80-day obsession. Like, it's 60 minutes. And if an hour seems like kind of daunting, because it used to seem kind of daunting to me to like, oh, I got to sit down and work for an hour. Do 45 minutes. Like, 45 minutes is nothing. Like, it goes by like that. And you would be so surprised how much you can get done in 45 minutes. It's insane. So be intentional and focus. Like, if you have kids running around and you need to go somewhere, get your husband or somebody to watch them and shut the door. Like, tell them. Cody's like, I can't. Like, because they're distracting, So maybe if you can go somewhere else, maybe you can go to a Starbucks or go somewhere, or just tell them if they want to sit in there with you, say, Mom needs 45 minutes to do some work. And just do whatever you have to do so you can be intentional. And that's going to look different for everyone. So you might be able to be super intentional and focused even with your kids running around and playing. I don't know. I probably couldn't, but everybody's different. So, and also, like, have distinct family time versus work time. Like, don't be working all the time when you're also trying to be, like, present for your kids and for your family or for your husband. Like, that is one thing that I know has to bother Tyler if I'm trying to, like, sit there or us have dinner or whatever, and I'm also on my phone working. If you are intentional and focused about the time that you spend working your business every day, then you can put it down and have family time or friend time or whatever it is, and not feel like you're not showing up for your business like you need to. And don't feel like you have to be plugged into your social media and responding to messages 24/7 and immediately. Like, people can wait. Like, I mean, I'm not going to make them wait like 2 or 3 days or anything, but if I'm at work or something, if I'm busy and I get a response from someone that I've invited, I don't feel like I have to respond to them that second, because I want to be able to sit down and have an intentional conversation with them when they have my full attention, not when I'm just, send a quick reply and not be able to really think about and give them the best recommendation and give them the best of me in that conversation. And another thing that helps me with my work hours and just like the busyness of life and still making sure that I have time for everything is making a posting schedule and writing out posts in advance. So every Sunday I try to sit down and I'll say, like, Monday through Sunday, what am I going to talk about in my posts these days? And I just put the topics or whatever I want to do. If I want to share a recipe this day, if I want to share transformation this day, if I want to share something about coaching or a coaching invite or a challenge group invite, I write it out. That way, when it gets to be Wednesday and I'm super busy and I just don't know what to post about, I can go back to my schedule and say, okay, there's what I was going to talk about today, and it can spur the thought and like get your mind, that process going into putting something out there to where you're showing up for your followers and everyone every day, even when you're super busy. And writing them out in advance is huge. Like, especially if you know, like, okay, this weekend I have so much going on. We have this, we have a soccer game, we have a birthday party, we have this and that, or I'm going to be traveling and on a plane or whatever. If you can write stuff out in advance, then you don't really even have to like take the time to think to write something out. You can just go copy, paste it, and there you go. And it makes things so much easier. So the fourth and final thing that I have about getting into your CEO mindset is following the 4 vital behaviors and making everything fun. So we don't want to do this because it's boring and because we don't want it to feel like it's our normal job that we don't really like to go to every day. We want this to be fun, and it should be fun. It is fun. So when you're working out, doing your personal development and all of that, like, make that fun. Figure out a way to make that fun for yourself. Play your favorite music. Get into just a normal routine where it's like, this is what I do every day, and it feels abnormal for me not to do it. That's how I am nowadays. Like, used to, I would have missed so many workouts in the last few weeks, but it's just become like such a norm that it feels abnormal for me not to work out or to sit down for 10 minutes and read. So even with inviting, like with what we talked about with the little trackers, like, I'm trying to find new ways for us to make that fun. And then also the recognition, like, if you see somebody crushing it in our challenge group, go shout them out. Like, give them the recognition that they deserve. Or if you're freaking proud of yourself for doing something, go shout yourself out. Every single thing. Like, if you're getting ready to sit down and work, but you really don't want to, you're really tired, you just want to go to bed, play your favorite music. Like, make a playlist on your phone of your favorite exciting, like, the music that just gets you pumped up, and listen to it for 5 or 10 minutes before you sit down to work, and change your mindset and get into more of that zone where you're like, okay, I'm ready, I can do this, and not I'm tired, I don't want to. Because that is huge, because if that's the way you're feeling, then that is what, if you're either creating content and posts or if you're inviting people, that's the vibe that they're going to feel. However you're feeling in that moment. Like, there are specific times when I'm like, I'm not in the mental state to invite right now. And so I choose to do other business building activities that don't require me to be as on, I guess. And recognize that when you are in a state like that where maybe, okay, so maybe I shouldn't invite today. I should just try to add to my network instead. Get creative. Reward yourself for your hard work. Like if you sit down and work for an hour, reward yourself with getting to watch that episode of Grey's that you missed or whatever. Like kind of make a reward system for yourself. So even if it's things that you know you're gonna do anyway, tie it to working or accomplishing something. That way you get to do it, but you feel better and it's a reward and you can celebrate that you did something good. And celebrate all the small wins. Like if you sit down and do a power hour and you haven't done a power hour in a month, like go into Radiant Empire in the team page and say, hey, I just did a power hour. I killed it. I invited 20 people, blah, blah, whatever you did. So we can celebrate that. Every single thing that you do counts. So even if it's just one power hour this week, maybe you usually do 5 and you only got to do 2. Like that still counts. You still showed up 2 days instead of none, right? Okay, I can't believe it's already 9:48. I did not realize that I was going to go that long, but that was all of my notes that I had. So everyone can unmute themselves if you want. I'm going to stop recording.